Ben Shephard, a name that, for decades, has been associated with charm, integrity, and warmth. From the beloved mornings of GMTV to the high-stakes tension of Tipping Point and the quick wit he brings to Good Morning Britain, Ben has been one of Britain's most trusted and adored presenters. He is the kind of figure audiences welcome into their homes every day, a man who balances professionalism with an easy, approachable nature. But now, Ben Shephard finds himself at the center of a storm no one could have foreseen. Police have confirmed that the much-loved presenter has been arrested following a deeply troubling call made by his wife, Annie Shephard. For a couple who, until now, have embodied stability, love, and respect, the news has sent shockwaves not only through ITV, but across the entire nation. Today, we take you through this story step by step, how it unfolded, why Annie's actions speak volumes, the devastating impact on Ben's career and legacy, and what might happen next. And trust me, as each detail comes to light, the narrative only becomes more dramatic, more emotional, and more heartbreaking. It began quietly. Late into the evening, police dispatchers received a call marked with urgency. On the other end of the line, Annie Shephard. Annie, a woman who has, for decades, lived largely outside the spotlight, has been Ben's rock. Known among close friends for her calm composure, her elegant presence, and her fierce loyalty, Annie has never been one for dramatic gestures. But that night, her voice carried unmistakable panic. Reports suggest that Annie told authorities she was deeply concerned, not only for Ben's well-being, but possibly for her own safety as well. This wasn't a situation she could manage alone. It wasn't a matter that could be quietly resolved behind closed doors. She needed immediate help. And that's exactly what she asked for. Within hours of her distress call, authorities confirmed that Ben Shephard had been taken into custody. No further details were made public, no charges revealed, no explanation offered, just confirmation. And that confirmation was enough to ignite an absolute firestorm. For fans, the very idea felt surreal. Ben Shephard, arrested? This is the man whose reputation has for decades been untouchable. The man who could seamlessly shift from the lighthearted laughter of Tipping Point to the more serious tone of Good Morning Britain. Ben was not just a presenter, he was a symbol of reliability, a figure audiences instinctively trusted. So when the news broke, the public reaction was immediate and intense. Social media flooded with disbelief. Words like shock, heartbreak, and betrayal dominated feeds. Viewers who had grown up with Ben, who had shared their mornings with his warmth and humor, simply couldn't accept it. Some rushed to his defense, insisting that this must be a misunderstanding. Others demanded answers, wanting to know why Annie had taken such a drastic step. And amid it all, ITV found itself under enormous pressure. Could one of its brightest stars really have fallen so far so quickly? What makes this story even more dramatic is Annie's role. For decades, Annie has been the quiet force behind Ben's success. Married since 2004, the two have been admired for their strong, grounded relationship, rare in the world of celebrity. Annie has never sought the limelight. She has been content to let Ben shine, while she built a life focused on their family and personal happiness. But now, her actions have placed her directly at the center of the narrative. She made the call. She set the chain of events into motion. And since that moment, she has remained completely silent. No statements, no interviews, no social media posts, nothing. For someone who understands how public crises unfold, Annie's silence cannot be accidental. It suggests she is weighing every word carefully, perhaps waiting for legal clarity before speaking. But her silence only adds fuel to the fire. What did she witness? What pushed her to take this step? And how does she feel now, knowing her decision has not only reshaped her marriage, but also shaken the faith of millions of fans? Ben Shephard's career has never been about controversy. He is not the presenter who chased tabloid headlines, nor the celebrity whose personal life overshadowed his professional one. Quite the opposite. Ben has long been admired for his ability to remain grounded, for being relatable, for embodying the kind of decency viewers wish they saw more often on their screens. But now, that legacy hangs in the balance. Hollywood may be used to scandals, but British television is different. Here, reputations are fragile. One incident, one unanswered question can overshadow decades of success. Unless the truth emerges in Ben's favor, this scandal could redefine how he is remembered. From trusted family favorite to the man whose wife made that call. It is a heartbreaking possibility. Behind the scenes, ITV is in turmoil. Ben isn't just another presenter, he is a cornerstone of the network's programming. Tipping Point, Good Morning Britain, Ninja Warrior UK. These shows rely not just on ratings, but on the charisma Ben brings to the screen. To lose him, or worse, to be forced to suspend him, would create a void that would be almost impossible to fill. And yet, the network cannot ignore the headlines. Executives are treading carefully, issuing cautious statements while privately scrambling for answers. Fellow presenters have been noticeably reserved. While a few have quietly expressed support, most are waiting to see how this plays out. For an industry already battered by scandals in recent years, this feels like yet another tremor in unstable ground. Beyond the headlines, beyond the speculation, lies something far more important: the human cost. For Ben, this is not just about reputation. It is about his marriage, his family, his sense of self. For Annie, this is not just about a phone call. It is about making the hardest decision a partner can ever make, choosing to seek outside help, even when it meant exposing their private lives to public scrutiny. And for their children, it is about watching their family become the subject of national debate. No matter how this ends, the scars will remain. As of now, the truth remains shrouded in secrecy. Authorities have not revealed details, Annie has not spoken, Ben remains in the custody of public opinion. But make no mistake, the story is far from over. Will Annie eventually reveal what drove her to act? Will Ben's reputation survive this blow? And will the truth, when it finally emerges, shock us even further or redeem a man so many believed in? Only time will tell. Ben Shephard's arrest following a disturbing call from his wife Annie has become one of the most shocking stories in British television history. For fans, it feels like watching the unthinkable unfold. For ITV, it is a crisis with no easy solution. And for Ben and Annie themselves, it is the most personal, painful challenge of their lives. This is not just a headline. This is a love story tested in the harshest possible way. And as we wait for the next chapter, one thing is clear: the Shephards will never be seen in quite the same light again. This story is just beginning, and you won't want to miss what happens next. Make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell so you stay updated as we bring you every twist and turn in this shocking saga. What do you think? Was Annie right to make that call? Do you believe Ben's reputation can survive this? Let us know in the comments below.